Hello everyone, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing Joe Biden's first year in office. And Joe Biden got sworn into office on January 20th of 2021, and tomorrow will officially be his the end of his first year in office, and we need about 3 more years to go until the end of Joe Biden's presidency. So basically, we're going to be reviewing all the issues he faced and how he handled all the issues that were thrown at him. For example, immigration. We're going to be discussing how he handled immigration, how he handled the pandemic, COVID-19. Not really the pandemic. We all know where it came from. And then how he handled foreign policy. He was obviously seen falling asleep everywhere. And then how he handled the economy. We already know how inflation is doing. And then what he's going to do on voting rights, if he's going to push, voting rights and all that, which we all know what he's doing there. And then we're also going to be talking about his BLM opinions and his BLM tweets, his BLM comments. So basically, everything that he has said about all of the BLM cases. For example, the Kyle Rittenhouse case. We're going to be reviewing what he said about all those cases, and then what he said about the Kyle Rittenhouse case, that was really stupid, and then basically, if his opinions were, good opinions, in my opinion, about all this BLM stuff. And then at the end, the 7th thing will be my final thoughts if he's good enough to run for 2024. And that's going to be related to his approval rating and his age, obviously, and basically my final thoughts at the end. So let's get into this. And also, if you haven't already, follow me on TikTok, link in the description. I'm actually getting better views on TikTok. I've gotten like over 20,000 just a week, and I literally just started. So yeah, go follow me on TikTok if you want the shorter version. So first thing on the list is immigration. Let's go on to immigration. And by the way, I'm going to be giving Joe Biden letter grades. Like F at the lowest, at the worst, he's handled that issue, and then at the A+ is the highest. So let's get on to immigration. Let's see what I'm going to give Joe Biden with these letter grades. Okay, so I'm going to give Joe Biden a D- on how he handled immigration. It is a mess. And let's start with one of the first things he did, which was opening up the border, one of the biggest mistakes he can possibly do. And he knows that was a mistake, by the way. He knows that changing Donald Trump's border policy, was going to be a big mistake. And he knew that. And he finally realized it because he recently changed his policy and went back to Donald Trump's policy because he finally realized that Trump policy was the right thing to do. And for those who don't know, he actually did go back to Trump's policy recently and, changed a few things and went back to what Donald Trump did earlier. So we have now seen a record number of migrant surge, a record number of illegals at crossing the U.S./Mexico border, and that we've never seen in many years. And it means more illegals have crossed the border with the Biden administration in just a year in, than any other president in a long time, which he set a record for the highest migrant surge out of any president in a while. And just in his first year, this is not even at the end of his term, this is the first year. So if he's already this bad on immigration in his first year. Okay, so the reason why I was about to give Joe Biden an F on this, the reason why I didn't give him an F, I put it to a D- instead, just a little bit better. And the reason why is because he finally changed his policy back to Trump's policy. Not for all of it, but just a little bit. He did change some of it back to Trump's policy, which he shouldn't have removed it in the first place. So, I would have given him an F. And one thing that Joe Biden did say before he was elected, which is not true, ended up not being true at all, which we all knew it wouldn't be true, is he said that he would make children not separated from their parents. So if he was elected, children would not be separated at the border, which is a lie. There are more kids in cages than ever before. And by the way, Biden and Obama, their administration built those cages. Don't be fooled. And yeah, kids are in cages more than ever, more than Trump. So kids are actually getting separated from their parents more than any other administration. you can obviously see it. There's people, like kids abandoned walking in the desert alone. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, there's nothing to hide on with this fact. And one other thing that makes the Biden-Harris administration look so terrible is that Joe Biden made Kamala Harris in charge of immigration. She has done nothing on immigration. I think she's visited the border, I believe, once or twice, and that is extremely little. I mean, come on. A lot of presidents have been visiting the border more than once or twice, and by the way, she would never have visited the border. The only reason why she visited the border is because Donald Trump visited the border, so she doesn't get, roasted on, which she ended up getting roasted anyways for that. The only reason why she visited the border is because Trump visited. I mean, she wouldn't have gone to the border if Trump was never going, so she had to, because people would be like, oh, why is Trump going to the border but not you? Which she had to because Trump did. Otherwise, she wouldn't have gone to the border. She only went there one time. And it makes their administration look so terrible. And that's another reason why I'm giving them a D-, is because they have no plan on immigration. They really don't. Just open up the border. And what they want to do, I said this so many times, is that they open up the borders so these illegal immigrants can come in and vote Democrat. That's all they want. They want Texas to flip blue. That's why they open up the borders around there, which shout out to Greg Abbott for trying to stop it at least. And that's what they're trying to do with these other southern states like Arizona. They try to open up the border so these illegal immigrants can flow in at a record high, which is now happening. So then these illegal immigrants, most of them, could vote Democrat. So that's all they care about. They just want the South to turn blue. So they open up the borders, and they care about the votes. They don't care about these illegal immigrants and giving them better lives. They don't care. And Kamala Harris was speechless in interviews. So yeah, D- in immigration. Moving on to COVID. I give Joe Biden a C- in COVID. A little bit better than immigration, and the reason why is because arguably say that it's, the people making the shots that should deserve credit rather than Biden, which, could be true. Is true for the most part, but Biden deserves a little bit of credit is because because vaccines have been coming out very fast. We got the second one, we got the booster that came out very quick, and Biden was in the administration with the booster, was not Trump. Trump was just in the administration with the first shot, but Biden came in with the booster, and it was made very fast, and it was 95% effective. So shout out to that. That's one thing. Finally, he did good in his administration. And then when Omicron came out, when these new variants came out randomly, they came out with a vaccine, another one very quick. So when these new variants are coming in, Joe Biden's administration are coming out with vaccines very quick, like right when these new variants appear. And so basically, to make this shorter, is vaccines are coming out very fast. With the Biden administration. So that's one good thing. But the reason why I didn't give him anything higher than a C- is because of these mandates. He is not supposed to force people. If businesses refuse to follow his COVID policies, guidelines, then their businesses will be shut down. And that's not what you're supposed to do. That, in fact, hurts the economy, which we're going to go on that later. He is not supposed to force people to either take the vaccine or lose your job. That's basically what Joe Biden is doing with these mandates. His mandates are basically take the vaccine or not and lose your job. And he's not supposed to do that. So that's why I'm not giving you anything higher than a C-, is because the truth is you're not supposed to force people. And I get it. You want COVID to go down. So I get it if he tries to force people to take it because you want COVID to go down. But in reality, you're not supposed to force anyone to take it. And people have lost their jobs. And people have resigned, especially police officers have resigned in the numbers, in the hundreds, because of Joe Biden's horrible, unconstitutional, I would say, mandates. And that's not what that's the reason why I didn't give him anything higher than a C-. But yeah, the record, but the shots coming out very quickly is one thing that Joe Biden is doing good with COVID-19, but nothing higher than a C- because he's not supposed to force anyone. So, yeah. And then moving on to foreign policy, I'm going to give Joe Biden a D on foreign policy. He is a horrible example of the United States. When he goes on the world stage, He is the worst example of the United States. He makes the United States look weak because he's weak and he's supposed to be the leader. And he was seen falling asleep on this climate affair thing on the global stage while someone had to wake him up. And that is just sad. And he makes America look so weak because if we were getting to a war, I would tell you right now, we wouldn't. I mean, Joe Biden would fall asleep right when we get into the war. And we're not getting talks that Russia wants to invade Ukraine, which is a whole nother story, but we're talking about foreign policy now. And he's probably going to fall asleep in the war if we do get into a war. He's literally going to fall asleep during a war. And that's what makes us look so weak. If he's already falling asleep with these foreign meetings with other countries, he's probably going to fall asleep in a war. I'm telling you right now. And he's not going to get anything higher than a D. And the reason why I didn't give him an F is because at least he made some, peace agreements with some other countries like, Ukraine. We have peace with them. In fact, we're trying to help them fight Russia right now. And then at least he made other friends like, the United Kingdom, which they're sneaky, by the way. The UK is kind of sneaky. Boris Johnson could fool you. They're ripping us off slowly. They're secretly ripping us off, which is what Donald Trump said. The UK may seem like nice people. Boris Johnson seems like a nice person, but they're sneaky and they're ripping the US off because of Joe Biden being so sleepy. And yeah, foreign policy. And let's move on to Afghanistan. The first thing, Afghanistan was a mess. He left soldiers dead, and there's rumors have it that there's still people stranded till today. Can't you believe it? And he has completely forgot about it. And, the reason why I didn't give his foreign policy an F, another reason why, is because at least he got us to withdraw most of the troops. He actually didn't fully withdraw us because there's still rumors that people are still in Afghanistan. But at least most people got him. At least most people got out, so that's why it's not an F. But it really should be an F because there's still people stranded in there, and it's not really a secret anymore. Everyone knows it. So yeah, Afghanistan was a mess, one thing, and then him falling asleep makes the United States look weaker, and then he stands no chance against Putin. He tried to attack Putin and look so angry, but he looks like a total joke to Putin, and that's the truth. He's just weak. The UK is ripping us off right now. He canceled the Keystone Pipeline and the XL Pipeline, and that caused Americans to lose jobs. 11,000 jobs were lost, and we're going to get onto that with the economy. And inflation is at an all-time high right now. Inflation has skyrocketed with the numbers you've never seen before. Gas prices has risen like about $3, $2 more than the Trump administration. In California, gas prices are about like $5, $4 to $5. With Trump, it was about $3. In other states, it was actually $2. So, yeah, Biden is making things more unaffordable, and he's making things more expensive, so that way more people can go homeless, which is what you're saying. More people going homeless because of inflation. And it's not like America has run out of housing, so that's why everyone's homeless. No, it's because of Joe Biden making inflation so high. That's the reason why more people are going homeless with the Biden administration, is because Joe Biden made inflation so terrible. And he has lost jobs because canceling, the pipelines, like I just mentioned. So people have lost their jobs because of the pipeline, because he canceled it. And 11,000 jobs were lost in Pennsylvania alone. So imagine other states. Just 11,000 in Pennsylvania already. Just in one state, 11,000 jobs were lost. In one state. Not 11,000 in total. In one state. So imagine in total. Yeah, a lot of jobs have been lost with the economy. And the economy is the opposite of booming. This is the opposite of a booming economy. The United States economy is not booming at all. In fact, he's letting other countries stomping our heads. He's letting other countries pass the United States in terms of better economy. I mean, China is actually doing arguably better than us. And China's economy is trending better than us. Trending better than the United States economy. It may not be better than the United States economy, but it is trending better while we're trending down. So that's what I'm trying to say. The trend is in China's favor in the economy. And then voting rights is going to be an absolute F. He is trying to make cheating in elections easier with these voting rights. You know, this stupid voting right For the People Act is just a joke. The For the People Act is just a joke. And I believe the senators are discussing this. They discussed it yesterday, and this past week the senators are discussing on voting rights, which I haven't checked what happened with this discussion that the Senate's having. But yeah, the Senate currently is discussing voting rights, I believe, from yesterday. And yeah, so voting rights, whatever he's trying to do with this whole For the People Act is just a lie. Don't get fooled. He's trying to make voter fraud easier, and voter harvesting, ballot harvesting, easier. And by the way, they're literally the opposite of safe elections. They're the opposite of safe elections. So what they're trying to do with these voting rights is they're trying to make it to where you don't even have to show voter ID. I mean, you have to show voter ID. If you don't, then you shouldn't even be allowed to vote. And that's what it should be, right? But these Democrats are making it to where you don't have to show anything. You can do whatever you want, mess around with these ballots, do whatever you want. No, that's not how it should go. So, yeah, voting rights is an absolute F. He's not doing anything. He's not doing anything for, I would say, the minorities, because this whole voting rights thing is supposed to be to help the minorities get a better chance to vote, but it's literally not doing anything. In fact, having voter ID is better for the minorities because, they're saying that not everybody can get voter ID and identification. That's not true. Anyone can. Just ask anyone. Like, no one has a problem with voter ID. It's just Biden that wants to make everything so easier to be fraudulent. So now with BLM. Joe Biden is beyond stupid. Literally, he's beyond stupid. I mean, have you seen what have you seen what he said about Kyle Rittenhouse? So we're going to be talking about the comments that he stated about these trials. For example, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. What he said very stupidly about that. So basically, Kyle Rittenhouse. He called Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist. I believe he said that. And a year ago, when I think recent actually, when we had the case, he said he hasn't watched the case. He hasn't watched the trial. When we had the trial, he said he hasn't watched the trial, but he said he hasn't watched a trial, but he knows that Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty. Which, that makes no sense. How do you not watch the trial while you guess he's supposed to be guilty? And yeah, he's basically he judged Kyle Rittenhouse without even watching the trial. That's very stupid. He judged Kyle Rittenhouse without even watching the trial. That's how you know he's a fake. And if he would really watch the trial, he would know that Kyle Rittenhouse was not guilty. So yeah, and that's the whole thing with BLM and all that stuff. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So, number 1, immigration, a D-. Number 2, COVID-19, I'll give him a C-. COVID-19 is the best he has done so far. And then number 3, foreign policy, it's a D. Economy, an F+. Terrible. Voting rights, a straight absolute F. It is the worst. Same with BLM. His BLM opinions, his Kyle Rittenhouse comments were just stupidity. So now on to my final thoughts before I close out this video. Will Joe Biden run in 2024? And I think there is a higher chance he will not run rather than a higher chance he will run. So I think there's more of a chance he's not going to run than if he does run again and then he wins by the end of his next term. He's going to be 86 years old by the end of his next term. The end of his next term, not the end of this term. The end of his next term, if he does run again and if he does win, the end of his second term, he's going to be 86. So there's no way he's going to do that. I know it. And if you think Joe Biden's going to run again, I don't know what to tell you. It's very obvious. Don't get fooled. Him saying, if I'm in good shape, if my health is in good shape, then I'll run again. Don't even believe that. You already know, even if his health is in good shape, he's not going to run. There's no way. He doesn't want to get himself into this mess again, because I truly believe that before he got elected, that he thought he was going to be doing, he thought he would do good as president. But it hasn't been working out for him. So at the end of this term, he's going to resign, no doubt about it. And Donald Trump is likely the Republican candidate, by the way. He's likely going to face someone else. And by the way, saying it's Kamala Harris is just a joke. It's not going to be Kamala Harris as well. These two people, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, will not run in 2024. I doubt it. It's going to be Hillary Clinton, in my opinion. And you're probably laughing at me and saying, Joe Biden has a better chance to run than Hillary Clinton at this point. But no, I don't think so. If Hillary Clinton is a really, trying to get involved into these topics, then no doubt about it, something has to be up with her. She could run. So that's pretty much it. Give me your letter grades on all the issues Joe Biden has faced this year. Overall, I'm probably going to give Joe Biden an F+ to a D- at most, a D- overall. It's just been a terrible first year for him. And then at the end of his term, I'm also going to do, in about 3 years from now, I would say that's a long time. And at the end of his term, I'm going to grade his performance overall at the end of his term. So yeah.